alongside Margaret Chase Smith and Barbara Murkowski and Patty Murray and all the great female senators that we've had in the United States Senate. Now welcome to Lara Trump. At least she's not to my knowledge, she's not a drunk or a serial sexual molester. So I guess in this world, she's probably Winston Churchill or something. Well, I agree with everything, but even if I had a kid, and all right, he did do some things. You know, a lot of the stuff he did was when he was not addicted. Okay, it was not. It was probably overblown. I would have pardoned my kid no matter what. If they were saying they were going to have 24-hour cell protection, but they were going to be in jail for 2 years, no way that I wouldn't have pardoned one of my own children. And everything you say, I completely agree with. But the central point of all of this, all of this is the most tragic figure in American politics in my lifetime is President Biden. All right. So he said I'd never pardon a kid. Okay, I don't believe any when anybody says I never had sex with that person, I never pardoned my kid. I don't pay any attention to it because I think everybody lies about sex and everybody is going to do whatever they're going to do with their own children. But the different scenario would be if he would have in September of 2023 or August said that he wasn't going to run. God damn, we would have won this election. And it wouldn't have been that close because we'd have had so many freaking talented people that were running. And he would be sitting here right now, getting ready to leave on a high note. There would be naming commissions to figure out what we're going to name after him. He would be the toast of Washington. There would be a Democratic inauguration coming up. Then a new Democratic president could have sort of gotten away with commuting in his sentence that Hunter Biden got. And it would have been minimal. There'd have been some pushback, but, you know, in the interest of the Biden family and President Biden's long and distinguished service to the community, I'm going to commute the sentence. You wouldn't even had to have pardoned it. I just cannot get away from the fact that somebody that I really liked and admired my entire political life. I could never remember when in the 70s reading the first edition of the Almanac of American Politics about this guy in his 30 years old elected to the Senate from Delaware. And all of this is fucking self-inflicted. It's tragic. It's sad. And of course, he's everything about him is no one's good. It'll be 6 years before somebody comes back and talks about all of the stunning things of manufacturing that he's brought back, the stunning stuff he's done. Yeah, it'll be a while. It is. What's so sad, it didn't have to be this way. He bought it all on himself. And I know the people around him, whether they at his beck and call or the employees, the consultants, his wife, who, according to press reports, unsurprisingly, really took on his side. I understand all of that. But at the bottom of this, Joe Biden is and will continue to be the most tragic figure in modern American politics. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So I want to nitpick just a little bit. I think the Johnson analogy is somewhat analogous. Nixon was a crook. Biden is the most uncrooked person that you could imagine. I mean, he's certainly a Washington creature, cozy with lobbyists, but I don't think he's I don't think he's a dishonest man. All right, Lyndon Johnson bought a lot of this, and I do think he's a figure, but he bought bad policy. Biden was not a crook, and he had no bad policies. That's a a blanket statement. He wasn't brought down by bad policies. He was. That's what makes him so staggeringly tragic. Of course, what he did, he had no. I don't think he had any choice to do what he did with his son Hunter. Now, what he could. I'm sure that given up, and his whole life history is so tragic. His wife and kid, auto accident. The man like to died with like an aneurysm. All right, his son Bo, who he worshipped, who's apparently a just a terrific human being, was a Iraq War veteran, was going to be governor of Delaware. Died of a brain tumor. When I go back and I think about Joe Biden and his life and what he meant and how he is an honest man that did so many good things, and I will never, of course, I won't live. He will never live. You will never live to see him get justice. And it's also fucking self-inflicted. I mean, Johnson, with Doris Kearns Goodwin, she got a very soft spot for Jack. He got roped into something by all of the smart people, to David Halberstam, the best and the brightest. People ought to read that 5 times. All right? That is the most searing indictment of just blindly following credentialism that you can never think of. And it's just, I don't know, Albert, I actually feel for Biden, and he knows that he fucked up. And he wasn't crooked. He didn't pursue bad policies. He is the most tolerant, loving, caring, non-prejudiced person you could imagine. And this is what he's faced with. It's a fucking shame. Well, okay, this goes to my point. When I still say, people mock it. Tucker Carlson is the most powerful person vis-a-vis an incoming administration in history. Of course, Kash Patel was Tucker Carlson's business partner. Of course, where's Tucker Carlson now? Oh, yeah, okay. And if people don't want to wake up to what's going on, go ahead and sleep. And in every instance that you look at, you can see Tucker's hand. And as I pointed out, he's 1,000 times more clever than these other people. It's all about resentment. And we're just going to get more, and most of these people can't stand the meritocracy. They can't, Project 2025 is nothing but a bunch of like second rate, not even second rate, not even single A ball players, academics. And they, number one thing is revenge. And Kash Patel is going to give them revenge. And that just is another illustration of Tucker's power. The fucking FBI director is now, I'm telling you, are they going to give Putin the names of assets that the United States has in Russia? I really fear that. If I were cooperating with the CIA and internal Russia, and I hated Putin, I would. Let me give you a piece of advice: get the fuck out of there. They're gonna dime you, man. They're gonna give your name to Putin, and they're gonna give the names of all of the people that these agents recruit people. Sometimes they pay them. They have a lot of different motivations. Some is money. Some is they just don't like Putin. There's all kinds of things. Get, in the name of God, protect your families and get the fuck out of there, because they're gonna give these names to Putin. You can see that coming. I promise you. Get out and get out now. First of all, P.H. Smith is toast. I mean, Jane Mayer buttered him. All right, he's not going to survive. The backstory: tinkers to Evers to Chance, right? Trump to DeSantis to Lara Trump in the United States Senate. If you can read this pitch 50 feet from the home plate. They're going to dump Headsmith. They're going to connive to give DeSantis, because he was a Navy veteran, he's actually in JAG, but whatever, okay, point him Secretary of Defense, and on his way out, he is going to appoint Lara Trump to fulfill the whatever unexpired term of Marco Rubio. This is just right in front of everybody's face what's going on here. And, DeSantis is going to look a weird guy, as you can imagine. He used to say dime, everything else. But that's what you're looking at. You're looking at, and I suspect that Susie Wiles, it doesn't, you have to be that clever political person to figure out what's going on here. And so, alongside Margaret Chase Smith and Barbara Murkowski and Patty Murray and all the great female senators that we've had in the United States Senate, now welcome to Lara Trump. At least she's not to my knowledge, she's not a drunk or a serial sexual molester. So I guess in this world, she's probably fucking Winston Churchill or something.